Okay, so let's just be real for a second. I really pride myself on being a rational person. You know, I look at the facts, I use logic, my decisions are my own. I'm not easily fooled.
Oh, really? Because, the fascinating thing is that your brain isn't some high-def camera just capturing reality as it is. It's way more like a storyteller, constantly editing what you see to fit a narrative it's already decided on. And yeah, it lies to you every single day.
But the good news is these little edits, these mental lies, they leave glitches behind. You just got to know where to look. So, want to see them?
To really get a handle on these glitches, we first have to understand the hardware they're running on. I mean, why do our brains even have these blind spots in the first place? Well, it all comes down to a really basic design principle. Okay, so the technical name for these glitches is a cognitive bias, and it's exactly what it sounds like, a systematic, kind of predictable error in your thinking. Think of them like mental shortcuts your brain takes to deal with the absolutely insane amount of information flying at it every second. And here's the why behind those shortcuts. Your brain is what scientists call a cognitive miser. I mean, it is fundamentally lazy. Its number one job, hardwired over millions of years, is to save energy wherever and whenever it can. And thinking really deeply, that burns a lot of calories. So what we have are two different systems. Over here on the left, you've got fast, intuitive thinking. This is where those mental shortcuts live. It saves a ton of energy, and it was absolutely critical for survival when a split-second decision meant you didn't get eaten. But on the right, you have slow, deliberate thinking, deep analysis. It's super powerful, but man, it burns a lot of fuel. Right, so the fast path is it's just being efficient. That's what I do. I make quick, effective decisions. Is it efficient, though? Or is it a trap? Because that fast path, that's where all the glitches live. Let's take a look at one of the most common and honestly, one of the most dangerous ones in our world today, the confirmation trap. Just think about your social media feed for a second. Does it really challenge you with new ideas? Or does it mostly just show you stuff you already agree with? Yeah, for most of us, these algorithms have built us a perfect personalized echo chamber, a place where our own beliefs are just reflected right back at us, making us feel validated and, always right. And this is the mechanics of the trap. We literally go looking for information that confirms what we already think is true. We see new information and we twist it to support what we already believe. We even remember things in a way that fits our story better. And here's the kicker. We flat out ignore or just aggressively dismiss anything that contradicts us. Huh, my newsfeed does look exactly like that. I just always thought it was really well curated for me. Exactly. The algorithm knows your bias better than you do. All right, let's jump to the next glitch. This one. This one is used by every retailer, every negotiator, every marketer on the entire planet. You have seen this 1,000 times. A price tag with that big crossed out number right next to the actual price. We all know it's a sales tactic, right? But why is it so ridiculously effective? What is that was $100 actually doing inside your brain? This is a perfect illustration of something called the anchoring bias. Your brain just grabs onto the very first piece of information it gets, in this case, $100, and it uses it as a mental anchor. From that point on, every other judgment is tied to that initial number. So the key here is that the $50 doesn't just feel like $50. It feels like a 50% savings. Your whole perception of value isn't based on what the item is actually worth, but on how it compares to that first number you saw. Oh, wow. I literally just bought this jacket last week. It was marked down from $250 to $125. I felt so smart, like I got this amazing deal. But now that I'm thinking about it, I have no idea if the jacket is actually worth $125. I just knew it wasn't $250. I was totally anchored. You were anchored. And look, it happens to every single one of us. So now that we can start to spot a couple of these glitches, let's turn this knowledge into a practical tool. It's time to run a little diagnostic on your own thinking. Seriously, I want you to think about it right now. Your last big decision, maybe buying a car, picking a vacation spot, making a big call at work. Was that really a product of that slow, deliberate, energy-draining system? Or was there a glitch running in the background? Here's a super simple 3-step audit you can run. First, what was the anchor? Was it the asking price? The very first opinion you heard? Second, and this is important, play devil's advocate. What contradictory information did you kind of conveniently ignore?
That's your confirmation bias waving hello. And finally, knowing all this now, would you still make the exact same choice? Oh man, that new smartwatch I bought, the anchor was definitely that slick marketing video. The contradiction I ignored was the review I saw that said the battery life was terrible. Reevaluating. I think I just bought a really good commercial.
Exactly. And that feeling right there, that moment of realization, that is the entire point. You can't just wake up and decide not to be biased. It just doesn't work that way. But what you can do is change your relationship with your own thoughts.
Think of it like this. The whole cognitive miser brain, the tendency to take shortcuts, that's the hardware. It's pretty much fixed. But your awareness, your ability to spot these glitches as they're happening in real time, that's the software. And that can always be updated. So the ultimate takeaway here is this. You can't eliminate biases, but you can learn to spot them. Awareness is the only software update your brain has. And I guess the first step is admitting that maybe, just maybe, you're not quite as rational as you think.